Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-7449. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to SCP-7449's unique properties, containment is to be limited towards its occurrence and the information relating to its existence. Foundation personnel unaffected by SCP-7449 are to cooperate with SCP-7449-B and are to facilitate the discovery or transportation of SCP-7449-A to B, and are not to interfere until SCP-7449-A's termination. SCP-7449-B instances are to be administered amnestics 7449 after SCP-7449 has ceased occurring. Foundation operatives assigned to SCP-7449 containment are to be rotated on a biannual basis. Personnel requesting reassignment to other projects are to be accommodated and given priority from regional directors. Personnel with a history of sympathetic tendencies towards those under Foundation care are to be barred from assignment to SCP-7449. Foundation personnel are encouraged to avoid interacting with SCP-7449-B until SCP-7449-A's termination. This includes the viewing of media involving SCP-7449-B. To facilitate this, personnel are not allowed access to electronic or physical media produced by SCP-7449-B. Personnel that violate this will be reassigned to a different project and assigned a specially trained Foundation psychologist until otherwise deemed capable of continuing work on SCP-7449's containment. Description: SCP-7449 is an anomalous phenomena affecting all sapient life within a specific geographic location corresponding to a legal, administrative, governmental, or legal boundary with the exception of one individual, hereafter referred to as SCP-7449-A. SCP-7449's area of effect can range from local counties to the nation-state. When occurring, SCP-7449 will create an irrepressible compulsion, desire, need, or urge to eliminate SCP-7449-A among affected individuals. SCP-7449-B. Aside from this compulsion, instances are indistinguishable physically and mentally from their unaltered state. Often, this compulsion will drive SCP-7449-B instances to put itself and others in physical danger. SCP-7449's mechanics are seemingly random and can occur at any time, although certain conditions have been considered more favorable to its appearance than others. SCP-7449-A selection is likewise random, lacking any pattern and background. SCP-7449-B will, aside from their desire to terminate SCP-7449-A, generally not act unless the individual instances believes that by acting it will capture or terminate SCP-7449-A. If, after an amount of time, ranging from 3 months to 6 months, SCP-7449-A has still not been terminated, SCP-7449-B instances will cease attempting to physically harm SCP-7449-A immediately and instead begin attempting to attract SCP-7449-A to the affected area for capture and termination. This manipulation ranges from simple threats to long-term conspiracies to contrive SCP-7449-A's termination, even if said termination is contradictory to the SCP-7449-B's self-interest. If SCP-7449-A is captured after this period, SCP-7449-B instances will not immediately terminate SCP-7449-A, but rather do so only on a specific date. This date corresponds to a locally celebrated holiday in the geographic area and will usually incorporate SCP-7449-A as a central part of the cultural event. SCP-7449 will continue until SCP-7449-A is terminated by SCP-7449-B. If SCP-7449-A dies of other causes unrelated to SCP-7449-B, the next living biological relative becomes an instance of SCP-7449-A. There has been no recorded instance of SCP-7449 ceasing without SCP-7449-A's termination. Upon SCP-7449-A's termination, SCP-7449-B instances will fail to recollect the preceding events, or if enough time has passed to make this difficult, will otherwise fail to see the anomalous nature in them. Discovery: SCP-7449 was discovered on December 31, 1999, when it affected the city of New York. At 8:54 a.m., local news was overridden by Mayor and his police force to give the following declaration.
My fellow New Yorkers, good evening. I hope that you are having as wonderful a holiday as the rest of us are. Although, unfortunately, I have come to bring bad news. News too important to delay after the holiday, even one celebrating the beginning of the new century. There exists a threat to us today. It is not mystical or unseen. It is not even foreign. It's here, right at our shores. It may be right next to you, right now, sitting, looking, watching. You, I, we know that fear better than anyone else. His name is Harry Nelson. He is a 19-year-old man living at second floor. He works at the gas station at Street, a little bit away from the public library. And he always keeps a 9mm handgun in his glove box. As we speak, the brave men and women of the New York City Police Department will be raiding his home so that he can be killed. And so that we may all sleep a little more soundly at night. If you are seeing this, it is because we failed, and he has escaped. I speak to you, citizens, in a time of need. Harry Nelson is a thief, a criminal, a terrorist, a danger to the people. His death is the only way for this city to remain safe, to remain clean. I, as a representative and sovereign of the people of New York, shall be suspending all statutes as relates to assault and murder in relation to Harry Nelson's capture and death. All citizens are to cooperate with the New York City Police Department, renamed the New York City's militia in light of the current crisis, and for the people to organize for the apprehension of this dangerous criminal. God have mercy on this city and those who do it harm.
At this, the Foundation, in collaboration with federal, state, and international authorities, to limit SCP-7449's effects. Despite this, all activity ceased as the citizens of New York City attempted to locate and terminate Harry Nelson, including all economic, infrastructure, entertainment, and political functions. Although threats of force were used, SCP-7449-B instances refused to cooperate. This only intensified as time continued, as all electrical, water, and heating infrastructure was abandoned in order to search the city for SCP-7449-A. Although authorities were able to turn them back on during the incident, it is believed around 30 individuals died from the lack of heat throughout the city. It was only on January 3rd, after 4 days of searching and a media blackout, that SCP-7449-A was discovered returning from a vacation to Europe and was entering the city when he was apprehended by the New York Police Department. He was subsequently executed on live television as a warning to other terrorists. It was only then that the New York City New Year's parade was allowed to occur. SCP-7449 Event Log 2/19/2002 Kentucky, United States of America. A small town of 500 people, SCP-7449-A was assaulted outside of town and hanged on a signpost. SCP-7449-B instances responsible were unable to understand why Foundation operatives took SCP-7449-A down for burial. 8/1/2004 Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. A coastal town of 1,000, SCP-7449-A was an elderly man who had been pushed down and could not get up. Several American troops were stationed near the elderly man and were ordered by the mayor and local commander to shoot anyone who attempted to help SCP-7449-A. When Foundation operatives were deployed to retrieve SCP-7449-A, they were repelled in the face of heavy resistance. ending in the deaths of 3 American soldiers and 10 Foundation officers. SCP-7449-A died from being run over by a bulldozer the day after this battle, and only then was the Foundation able to intervene. 4/22/2005. Saka, Russian Federation. A village of 90 people, primarily elderly. SCP-7449-A was a son of an SCP-7449-B instance, who had been invited by the latter to his home after he had left home many years earlier. SCP-7449-A, believing it to be a form of reconciliation, was terminated in its parents' home before its body was made part of the village spring festival. 12/19/2006. Alabama, United States of America. Secretary of State of Alabama requested from the governor and the government of Tennessee the extradition of SCP-7449-A, a former Alabama citizen who had not lived in the state since 1939. If the state would not do so, the Secretary of State claimed that there would be devastation the valley has not seen since Sherman. Despite threats from the federal government, the legislator of Alabama was appropriating money for the state National Guard for an invasion until the Foundation applied pressure to Governor of Tennessee to extradite SCP-7449-A. SCP-7449-A was boiled in a steel bowl near Birmingham, Alabama, in honor of the state's historically large deposits of iron. 7/4/2009. Site 22. During an inspection of Site 22, 0511 was taken hostage by Mobile Task Force Alpha-1, Red Right Hand, in collaboration with Site 22 staff. Mobile Task Force Alpha-1 delivered a message to the O5 Council, describing 0511's capture and situation, and demanding that unless SCP-7449-A was handed over, 0511 would be executed. SCP-7449-A was Dr. Alan Rizzo, a former researcher at Site 22. However, when handed over, 0511, instead of being given over, stabbed SCP-7449-A 47 times, stopping at several points to allow Mobile Task Force Alpha-1's medical staff to resuscitate SCP-7449-A. When SCP-7449-A was terminated, 0511 commanded Mobile Task Force Alpha-1 and Site 22 as a whole to stand down. We got our man. 0511, Alpha-1, and Site 22 as a whole are currently suspended following further investigation. Okay, I think that about does it for today. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye. I would like to give a special thank you to Big Sip, Zargaron, Oh Crop Guy, James Saba, Braided Peach, That Loser, Richard Broadhurst, Fire of Prime, Dr. Wolf 13, Cupster, Worthy Fire, Zazapan, Irish Wristwatch, Signar, Alatreon, Your Local Foundation Agent, and Lost Boy. If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com/TheVolgun. Thank you.